All right, welcome back to another episode of Commission Breath. Today, it's just me, Tom. Brandon is not going to be on this episode, and the reason is I want to share with all of you something that has been really a game changer for my business, and it's really helped me double my business by making this one change. And what I'm talking about is making a change to my weekly schedule. So I've made several changes to my weekly schedule, which I'm going to dive into. But the overarching theme here is I've made one change in my business, which is the actual weekly schedule and how I've really just built it from ground up and designed it to my life and what works best for me. And I'm going to go through some tips and tricks that I've implemented that I think will really help you as a listener. So, if you are listening to this, I highly recommend if you have the ability, head over to YouTube because I'm going to be sharing my screen on this and you can see the visuals. But if you can't, no worries. You're still going to be able to follow along here and comprehend exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, so first thing is when it comes to building out well, first of all, like, why are we talking about this? Well, I truly believe your success starts with how you build your schedule, how you time block, how you fit certain non negotiables into your daily routine in order to build up the pipeline and have success in your business. And for me, I realized I didn't really have a set schedule. Like, I was following something for the most part, but it wasn't really dialed in, and I knew I could improve on it. So the first thing as I said to myself is like, what is the most important to me? Well, for me, it's got to be family. Like, outside of business, that is, it's family and fitness. So I need to have my family time, and I need to have my fitness time. And fitness can be anything from for me for anything. Whether it's the gym or jujitsu, that counts as my fitness. And I'm going to go over on the screen share here, like how I've put that in. But that would be the first place I would start is like, hey, outside of business, what is the ideal day for you to have these things sprinkled in to make sure you're not missing these? And for a lot of you, it's probably going to be family and fitness. Maybe it's another hobby you have. Make sure that's first. You got to pencil that in. And that's going to be really the workflow that we're going to go through here. That's the first thing you put on your calendar. And that's kind of counterintuitive to what a lot of people talk about when it comes to building your business is they always just talk about, okay, what's your morning routine in terms of like, are you prospecting? We're going to dive into that, but these are the fundamentals that have to be there in the first place, because if they're not there, you're going to burn out. You're going to feel depressed. You're not going to be happy. So what's the whole point of doing this if you're not going to be happy anyways? So, secondly, you got to pick 2 to 3 hours a day for business building activities. So I've called this my business building. And what do I mean by that? It really means you working on the business, not in your business. And I realized the biggest issue I had was the production roller coaster, where you have leads coming in, your pipeline fills up. That's great. Then you start getting stuck in the business because you're busy working on the files themselves, and that's just really going to kill your next 90-day cycle with your leads coming in, because you're not doing any prospecting, you're not working on the business itself. So these are the business building activities have to happen on a daily basis from Monday to Friday. If you're really eager, put some in on the weekend too. I'm going to start doing that as well on Sundays. And for me, it's been 2 to 3 hours a day for this time blocking activity, which I'm going to dive into and show you the accountability system that I've built out. And you can literally just copy this and put it into your business and tweak it how it works best for you. And then thirdly, you've got to have those daily non-negotiables. So this is going to look different for everyone. It depends on how you generate your leads, but non-negotiables are things that you have to be doing on a daily basis to drum up leads, whether it's phone calls, texts, DMs, emails, going to a social event like a what do you call it, BNI group once or twice a week, whatever it is. Have that laid out as to what that's going to be. And I've separated mine from daily non negotiables and weekly non negotiables, because some of them are weekly tasks that need to be done. Some of them are stuff that I need to do on a daily basis. And I'm going to show you how I've mapped that out and put them directly into my calendar so I can reference them on a daily basis to make sure that I hit them every day. All right. So that is that. Let me dive into my calendar. So I'm using, actually, this is my personal calendar, but I've just blocked out all of the personal stuff. You guys don't need to see that. So what I'm going to do is we're starting from a blank slate here, a clean slate. And the first thing, like I mentioned in the beginning here, is you want to map out your things that make you happy. So it's got to be, for me, it's got to be family. So I need family time and I need my fitness. I'm very big advocate in, being fit and feeling good. So what do I do? Well, I'm going to pick the days and the times. So if it's fitness, how many times a week are you going to work out? That's the first place you start. So just going to click this. You can see here, I've already got this is what worked for me in the times. And one of the biggest changes I made to my schedule is for years, I was waking up at 5 and working out right away, which, to be honest, like, I love it. I miss it. I wish I could. I technically could right now, but I choose not to. And the reason why I choose not to is because I replaced that first thing in the morning time block. I've replaced that with business building, which I'm going to dive into, but I've moved my gym time up into the afternoons. And for those listening, if you look at my calendar on YouTube here, you would be able to see that my gym time is between 1:30 to 3 for most days. Some days are jujitsu, where I have that in the morning, but it's not till 9:30. Um, so the first thing I did was I mapped out my gym time, and I said, okay, next, family. I've got that in there now. So I've got 2 hours. Most days are 2 1 hour session, not sessions, but 2 1 hour time blocks in order to have that family time, and those are non-negotiables. I work my schedule around that in order to really have that healthy, sustainable productivity throughout my work life. Because without that, I'm just going to burn out. So I've got that in there. So as you can see here, from Monday to Friday, that starts at 8 to 9. So a lot of people are waking up at that time. And again, it's dependent on what you want for your schedule. Maybe you're someone that does like to sleep in. Everyone's body is different. You are someone that really, you're a night owl, you go to bed late, you still need to get that sleep. You have to have that sleep. That's a non-negotiable. Um, so you don't want to wake up at 5 if you're going to bed at 1 and get 4 hours of sleep, because that's just going to burn you out, and it's not good for you. So definitely get your sleep in. So for me, I go to bed decently early and I wake up at 5 Monday to Friday. Now, what do I do then? Now I'm going to look into my business building activities. So I've got here from 5:30 to 8, Monday to Friday. I have 2.5 hours of solid work time. Nobody's interrupting me. I don't have my email open. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's texting me. My family's, for the most part, they don't get up till 7:30 ish. I've got solid time, 2.5 hours Monday to Friday, that I wasn't doing prior to implementing the schedule. So that's a lot of hours added into your business where you're working on the business itself. So for you, it might look different. Maybe it's an evening for you. Maybe it's 7 to 9 p.m. Whatever works best for you, just make sure you have that in there. I would start with 1 hour and then increase that as you can. I wouldn't start off with 2.5 hours, 3 hours right off the bat, because you might not be able to sustain that. And you want some repetition here. You want to build some healthy habits. So I'm in my Google Calendar. This is the cool part. You click on the actual business building day, the time block, and you'll see here, I have some links in here. So this is in the actual Google Calendar. If you're using Google Calendar, you can do this, super easy to do. In the notes section, you can hyperlink anything you want in here. So it's so simple and easy, but I've never thought about doing this. But you click on, so I'll show you my accountability system. This is what I call it my accountability system. It's really just a system in order to keep me on track and plan my work week. So click on that. It's going to take me here to, I've got it separated from daily non-negotiables and weekly non-negotiables. So this is going to interchange. It's not always going to be concrete for the rest of the year. That's why it's a Google Doc. You can interchange it as time goes on. For me, right now I'm doing at least 20 DMs a day on Instagram, one story and one post. Those are my daily non-negotiables. Pretty simple to sustain. I'm doing way more than that, to be honest, but that's some days, if I'm like super busy, I've got stuff going on, at least I can hit that benchmark of 20 DMs, which is super, super easy. And then for the weekly non-negotiables, I've got past client calls, I've got realtor videos, so that's on my Fridays. Then I've got my birthday text, that's my birthday video. text that I do. If you haven't listened to that episode, highly recommend going back to that because I really think it's a cool, easy strategy to implement. I've got my milestone status updates, which is probably going to be a future episode. This is for our realtor partners. Then I've got my channel posts on Mondays. That's through Instagram. So those are my non-negotiables. Again, this is going to look different for you, but at least you have it mapped out here and you can see it as a visual. Then below that, we have this week's tasks. So this is where you're going to put any of your business building activities. You're going to put that in there per day. So let's just say, for example, you can have a theme for each day. So maybe Monday's marketing. You can see here I have marketing on Mondays. Tuesdays is marketing as well because I do believe those are the two important things to drive your business is obviously marketing and sales. And how do you get leads in? Well, you got to do some marketing. So marketing can be anything from reaching out to referral partners, doing some social media, can be DMs, text, whatever. That goes in marketing. And you can see here, I'm sharing my screen. You can see all of the different activities that I do in my business to drive those leads. I put that under marketing. And then it gives you some good context to pick and choose and have some ideas and thoughts of what you want to do that Monday. So I should back up. Like on Sundays, this is when I'm mapping out my week. So then I'm going to put all of the activities in each day. And that doesn't mean it's concrete. Like as the week goes on, you might be adding more, you might be taking some out. But the really key part is that you have everything outlined here, and you don't have to have the themes per day. Like I started with themes, and then I realized I want more flexibility to like let's just say on when's my client journey day? Wednesday. So for my client journey day on Wednesday, maybe I don't really need to work on it, but I want to do more marketing. Doesn't matter. You don't have to stick to the theme as long as you have those tasks outlined in there to keep you on track. That's the main thing here. Okay. So I would highly recommend building out a Google Doc with the same type of formatting and then putting in all of the different tasks that you do in your business to drive those leads coming in and build up your business for the better. So that is the accountability system. That should be it. So again, to recap, build out your schedule, your routine based off of your non-negotiables and the things that are going to drive your life for the better. So whether that's family, fitness, put it in there, put your hobbies in, then build your business around that. And then you're going to be able to sprinkle in your meetings, your underwriting, whatever else you have in your day, you can put that in there. So for me, I have my calendar blocked off from all the way up to 1 p.m. So people can't even schedule a call with me unless it's from 1 to 5 p.m., which for a lot of people that might sound crazy, but really it gives enough time for people. And if there's a time that isn't available for someone, I make accommodations. I'll give them a call after dinner, whatever the case is. I'm not too strict with that. But as long as you don't have that blocking out your business building activities, that's the key point. And of course, as long as it's not taking out your important stuff like family and fitness. And then in the afternoon, I do underwriting as well. So I don't really typically do a lot of underwriting in the morning. I'd rather save that for the afternoon. And hopefully in the near future, I won't have to do any of it because we plan on hiring an underwriter. So that would be great to get that off my plate. So there you have it. That is everything. If you guys have any questions on that, as always, send us a DM on Instagram, and we're happy to chat about it. Cheers, guys. See you next week.